Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Listen up, man. Now the developers are soaked in tears and sadness. High chance for a failure on the release. No jump tonight. Greetings, my friends, I'm Vulkk. With this video, I would like to quickly cover the temporary patch notes for game update 5.2 for Star Wars The Old Republic. Why temporary? And did you guess the quote that I tried to rephrase and use for my own purposes? The changes that I'm going to comment and discuss with you guys are subject to change until next Tuesday, 18th of April. Why? Because BioWare was not happy. That's almost a direct quote now. BioWare was not happy with the state of the new game update, the War For Iokath 5.2, and they're delaying the release for the next Tuesday. That's 1 week. Despite that, an hour after this announcement, patch notes appeared with a huge asterisk and mark that they are temporary and subject to change. I personally don't expect many things to change, and of course, if they do, I will be adding them here. If you need more information, you can find absolutely everything that's official and solid about this update 5.2 in the collective thread entitled Everything About SWTOR Patch 5.2 The War For Iokath. Now we're going to focus with a zoom in effect on the patch notes for 5.2. Here is the contents table, highlights general classes and combat. I really need to emphasize on the changes for classes and combat in this update. We've got a huge amount of changes for the group content in the game. We have a huge ton of patch notes to mention about the Galactic Starfighter and some other things as well. Now let's begin with the highlights. New Iokath storyline. When a super weapon of unimaginable power is discovered on Iokath, you must choose to align your forces with either the Republic or Empire and deal with the inevitable consequences. Once you complete the storyline, you will gain access to a host of repeatable missions in a brand new daily area. This pretty much we already know. There is almost nothing spoiled except for why we're going back to Iokath because of the discovery of another major super weapon. The story will be revealed next week on Tuesday, hopefully, as soon as the servers go up, depending on when the maintenance will be scheduled for. I will be live streaming with you guys. The next highlight, returning companions, prepare to fight alongside former Sith warrior companion Malavai Quinn. Please, come on. At least some of you have to spare him. He's a good character, don't kill him from the first moment. Or former Republic trooper companion Elara Dorn. Now we have to mention here or emphasize on the or word. It's not and, you can't have both of them apparently. We'll see that next week when the update is live and released. Gods from the Machine team up with new friends, with friends, doesn't matter if they're new or old, and guildmates to take on the first boss of this new operation. Tite, the God of Rage, is the first guy. I do have a guide for the boss with written form, screenshots, and some video gameplay, including as well for both story mode and veteran mode. The guide is as detailed as I could make it. Hopefully, I haven't missed anything important. And of course, feel free to add some more things if you were amongst those players who had a chance to test the boss in the closed PTS. Galaxy map, accessible from anywhere. Explore the galaxy like never before with the new and improved galaxy map. Yet it's really a big change. I think Kid Lee presented some interesting video yesterday or the day before. I haven't made the video yet because I'm holding off for when the update is released so I can actually show the in-game galaxy map. We've got a few screenshots from BioWare, and of course I've shared those in the special post that I've published. Well, it's in the news section for SWTOR, but it's also linked here in the collective mega thread for everything about this patch. And we have a very short, non-voiced and silent video from BioWare. They showed it at the end of the producer stream from a couple of days ago, and they also uploaded it a day later on the official YouTube channel for Star Wars The Old Republic. No voice, no sound, nothing, just cool animations, and they're demonstrating how to open the galaxy map, what perks are available, things like that. Galactic Command gearing changes. Crates get better as you level up. Greater chances to get set bonus gear, guaranteed unassembled gear drops in operation bosses, and more and more and more. All of this has been announced a long time ago now, and nothing has changed, at least according to the patch notes. You can find my very detailed and very long also 5.2 endgame gearing guide. All of these things will be listed down below in the video description. So if you need them, if you haven't seen them, you have a very easy way to reach those links and read the articles. The 5.2 changes are extremely friendly to all kinds of endgame players, whether it's a solo operation player or more hardcore, if we have any of those left in the game, oriented endgame players and stuff like that. The next bullet point, Master Mode uprisings. We can earn new achievements as we fight through all 10 uprisings now available in Master Mode. I really want to say that each one of them will have at least one new mechanic for at least one of the bosses, because you know that each one of the uprisings have several bosses, but we don't know that yet. Updated class story introductions. That's brand new. Nobody expected that, at least I didn't. The introductory scenes for the original 8 class storylines have been significantly updated and improved. Really? After this incredibly good for alt leveling event that's been running for a few months now, and everybody is bored with leveling new classes, now we have to go through all of them again and see what's changed. It would be nice to actually try and notice all the changes without using other people's videos and spoilers and guides and such. I'm really curious to see what exactly has changed in the introductory cinematics. Jumping down to the general section, I'm not going to read all the patch notes, of course. I spent a little bit more time on the highlights because they pretty much sum up the most important part of this update. I have to mention from the general section that the Chapter 1, The Hunt, and Chapter 2, A Dream of Empire from Kotfi have had serious nerfs in terms of command experience earned for completing those missions, because you know they were easy and they were quick, especially if you skip all of the cutscenes and dialogues, and you can earn at the moment of recording this video, you can earn a ton of experience. The following legacy perks now have additional benefits due to the new galaxy map. Priority Transport Personal Starship. If you have this perk, you can travel directly to your ship from the galaxy map. This I will be showing you in the overview video when the update is live. And the second one as well, about the Planetary Transport clicky. If you have this perk, you can travel to that location via the galaxy map for no credit cost. That's really useful. It doesn't cost credits at the moment if you use those quick buttons or quick access buttons, but apparently you don't need to have them take a slot on your toolbars anymore, because you can use them from the galaxy map. Depending on what you prefer, I imagine the icons will still be available. All enemies now have a command experience value when killed. The base command experience rate has been greatly increased. The new base rate is slightly lower than the adjusted rate from the command XP event. Quick note, at the time of recording this video, which is 11th of April, the event has also been extended for 1 week, so it's going to run, even though you will not be seeing on your screen that the event is running, the visual notification will be gone, but the rewards in terms of XP and CXP will still be present until the next scheduled maintenance for when actually 5.2 goes live. Here is the best part now, classes and combat changes. Corrected an issue where Viroa Dents would not use the flashing strike ability while in damage mode. Thank you. I've honestly never used that specific one companion. I can't even remember right now where exactly this companion comes from and how do we recruit it. Fill me in the comments, please. You know that I favor usually 1 or 2 companions for each class, and those are, in most cases, a standard companion, classic companion from the story. So I never care about all of the clusterfuck that Kotfi brought to us in terms of companion recruitment. Really a lot of changes, more like bug fixes and improvements to the group endgame content. We've got some flashpoint fixes, operation fixes, changes I should say, and uprisings as well. Let me read a couple of things for the uprisings. Completing uprisings on story and veteran difficulty mode will now grant progress towards the general uprising achievements, initial uprisings, which is story, initial uprisings, which is veteran, and second uprising story and second uprisings veteran. Why is BioWare doing this? these complicated changes? I don't know. Probably they find a good reason, and I don't really care too much. Koto stations will now respawn when an entire party wipes during an uprising boss encounter, which is actually really good, because if you need those on your first attempt, you will eventually need them on your second attempt. Well, that depends, of course, when you learn the mechanics. If it happens that the 4 players are brand new in the uprising, for a second attempt, most of them will have learned the mechanics and they know how to avoid damage, how to cause more damage and things like that. Doors in the Fractured Uprising will no longer show as locked when you can interact with them. Galactic Starfighter, we have a change for the Galactic Starfighter, but look at what is it actually. Galactic Starfighter daily and weekly missions now award unassembled components. Daily missions award 8 and weekly missions award 20. Did you think this is going to actually be gameplay change? Haha. No, seriously, I'm not a fan of Galactic Starfighter. That's probably why I don't care about the state of this part of the game. But I know that there is a select few players who really care and enjoy this kind of a side game. I don't want to call it a mini game. It's more like a side game. And I really, really feel bad for you guys because you haven't really received anything worth it and worth mentioning since the initial release of Galactic Starfighter. Paint jobs and silly cartel market stuff doesn't count. A bunch of improvements, changes, and fixes for the items and economy section, including all operations bosses will now drop the unassembled gear piece. The final boss will drop 2, and this is for 8 men. For 16 men, every boss is going to drop double, so 2 items, and the final boss will drop 4 items, 4 unassembled gear pieces. Those are token pieces, depending on the difficulty which you're doing. Tier 1 unassembled gear pieces will no longer drop in operations. Once again, all of this regarding operation changes and loot for each one operation, for each one boss, all of this is very neatly structured and put in place in good order in my 5.2 gearing guide. So check it out because it's listing all of the bosses, what they drop, and I also have links to my videos with gameplay and written and video guides to all of the bosses throughout the years. They span all the way back to the 55 days, I think. I don't have a level 50 video on any of the bosses. So tier 2 legendary unassembled gear pieces will drop from story mode. Tier 3 legendary unassembled will drop from veteran mode. Tier 4, welcome tier 4, prototype and artifact unassembled gear pieces will drop from master mode for non-final bosses. And the legendary unassembled gear pieces tier 4 will drop from the final bosses in master mode. The new operation that begins with Tide and 5.2 gods from the machine will drop tier 3 legendary. The legendary is the best of the possible grades of the items, in case you're wondering. So tier 3 legendary unassembled gear tokens will drop in story mode, and tier 4 legendary will drop in veteran mode. Tier 2 unassembled gear no longer has a tier 1 gear requirement to purchase from the unassembled component vendor. That's actually a good improvement. And without reading absolutely everything from the screen, let me jump all the way down to the bottom and see what BioWare is changing in terms of war zones. Increased the requirements to earn damage done, healing done, and damage prevented medals. I wish they would say how much that change was actually, how much they've increased the requirements. And the second bullet point, the command experience bonus earned from each medal a player has at the end of a war zone has been increased. These are my highlights from the patch notes. There are a few more things. For example, the CXP stims are receiving a change. And as I've mentioned, there is a ton of fixes and improvements to some story content, to some dialogues, to some special scenes and special quests. I will not discuss all of this here with you guys because I don't think it's a globally interesting topic. So, what do you think about the patch notes? 5.2 definitely seems like a big update, mostly in terms of fixes though, because apart from the Iokath story, which I constantly compare to Ziost, and I hope that it's not short as Ziost, because Ziost was more or less 1 hour. I also hope that they don't split the ending like they did a couple of years ago with Ziost. I don't know if you were around and you remember, but they saved the last 5 minutes with the conclusion of the story on Ziost to be released about a week or 2 weeks after the initial release. Not because it wasn't ready, just because they wanted to annoy us. They saved it for the special release in order to celebrate, I believe, May the 4th, a special Star Wars celebration day. You know, now that I mentioned celebration, 2 days from now, all of my world will be Star Wars celebration. I will be glued to my desk, to my sofa actually, watching on the TV, live streams all day long from Orlando Star Wars celebration. That's it. I will see you with live streams for 5.2 next week. That's for sure, of course. Before that, you should expect a ton more things that I have or haven't come up with yet. But just so you know, when the patch finally launches, I will have a huge focus on the story and all of the new and changed things for all of you guys that don't keep regularly 1 eye or 2 eyes or 5 eyes on what BioWare is doing to our favorite and only Star Wars MMO. See you next time. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Click the like button and help me out. Visit my website vulkk.com for daily videos and news. To help me improve and expand, consider becoming my patron with a small monthly pledge. And stay in touch by following me on Facebook and Twitter.